everyone. It's a privilege for us to be here today and represent Circle here in this beautiful city. My name is G and this is Rebecca. Today we'll be focusing on Circle's role in maximizing the utility of blockchain to solve real-world problems. In a few minutes, Rebecca will introduce the infrastructure and the services that we're building to support businesses in this endeavor. But first, let's get up to speed on USDC, Eurocoin, and the stablecoin use case. We've all been using some form of digital money for some time now. But up until programmable blockchains and stablecoins, these services have still been powered by existing infrastructure. So while the apps we use today or the mobile websites we use might have a very slick UI, underneath, we're still subject to the same limitations that we've always been. Banking hours, banking holidays, settlement that takes days, moving money cross borders has fees and takes a long time as well. We've become very familiar, and I would suggest maybe too complacent in accepting these frictions. But let's imagine if money were native to the internet and existed in an open, programmable way. The same way that I can send you an email using SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, or send you files using FTP, we should be able to send money in the same way to anyone that has a mobile device or an internet connection. Actually, this exists today already. It's still early through public programmable blockchains. And with USDC and Eurocoin, we want to create the very primitive building blocks for this next generation infrastructure. Luckily, people are catching on, and stablecoins have been described as blockchain's first enduring killer use case. Whether it's solving real-world problems like payments or settlement or remittances, or native on-chain purposes, let's say DeFi or NFTs or DAOs, one common thread has emerged, and it's the need for a blockchain native euro or a blockchain native dollar. So while there are handfuls of options for stablecoins, they are not all built the same. Over the last year, the ecosystem has learned, sometimes painfully, that not all stablecoins can withstand and emerge from extreme black swan events with their core design principles intact: stability and redeemability. The crypto ecosystem has also witnessed massive challenges with algorithmic stablecoins, as Jeremy mentioned earlier with Terra. But beyond algorithmic stablecoins, of which many more have failed, even across reserve-backed stablecoins, stark differences in the composition, quality, and transparency of reserves exists. Circle's approach is that of simplicity and transparency. USDC is fully backed by cash and short-dated treasuries, as Jeremy mentioned, and it's always redeemable one-for-one with dollars. Monthly attestations by Deloitte ensure that the reserve assets exceed the on-chain supply of USDC, and anyone can always view the full history of this by going to circle.com/USDC. Lastly, reserve assets are stored under the custody and management of top financial institutions in the United States, BNY Mellon, and BlackRock. And today, there's over 36 billion in USDC in circulation. We've seen tremendous growth with global reach. However, people don't just hold USDC. It has tremendous velocity as a payment medium. In 2022, on the Ethereum blockchain alone, USDC moved 4.2 trillion USDC exchanged between hands. And not only that, throughout the year, customers also routinely move dollars in and out of the USDC ecosystem. Last year, we saw $168 billion from customers, resulting in issued USDC. We also helped customers redeem 166 billion of that USDC for the equivalent amount in cash. These last two numbers, I think, are just as important as the first number. They show the frictionless ability and certainty that our customers have, that USDC can always be converted to and from dollars. So beyond stability, how else does Circle hold itself to a higher standard? Well, importantly, the security of both USDC and the crypto ecosystem is an area of continued investment for us. Over the last 12 to 18 months, over 1.5 billion in assets have been hacked and stolen from bridges and on-chain protocols. For those less familiar, a bridge is a way of bringing USDC from a chain that it's officially supported on, let's say Ethereum, to another chain that doesn't yet have official support. These solutions tend to have a lot of interim benefit, but oftentimes they carry risk that manifests itself far too frequently. Circle's ongoing investment and solution to this problem is through our multi-chain program. So in order to make sure USDC is supported natively wherever possible, a consistent part of our product roadmap is to bring USDC to chains that have proven traction. From our initial launch of USDC on Ethereum in 2018 until now, we see USDC on 8 different blockchains. And each time we bring USDC natively to a new blockchain, we're relieving that ecosystem of bridge risk. We're also replacing that with the dollar stability of USDC, now in its most secure form. And over the next quarter, we plan to bring USDC natively to at least 5 new chains: Arbitrum, Optimism, Near, and the Polkadot and Cosmos ecosystems. And so fast forward with USDC now on more than a dozen chains, the next question becomes, how do users move USDC between chains? Blockchains don't talk to each other natively. They exist in silos. But alongside our multi-chain program, we're soon launching the CrossChain transfer protocol as well. The CCTP allows USDC to move seamlessly across chains. Leveraging the existing technology that we've used privately for the last several years, we've now built CCTP in a public way such that any developer can integrate their on-chain applications to talk to it directly. Our goal here is to create and connect all blockchains with a single stable layer of liquidity. And we'll start by launching this with USDC, with Eurocoin, my next topic, to follow. So over time, we see the need for all major reserve currencies to move on-chain. And last year, the next logical step for us was to introduce a stablecoin version of the next largest reserve currency, the euro. Eurocoin is issued by Circle, has the same full reserve model, is fully backed in euros, in euro-denominated accounts. And again, attestations are also performed by Deloitte, and the history is completely available online. And so while Eurocoin is young, we've seen substantial growth in its first few months, and we're encouraged by the opportunities it presents in the form of payments, remittances, and also FX use cases. So now that we all sort of have a high-level understanding of USDC and Eurocoin, let's take a look at some of the use cases that we're very excited about. I'll go into a few business use cases soon, but first, I wanted to highlight how USDC can support nonprofits. In the spring of 2021, after a devastating wave of COVID struck India, the COVID Crypto Relief Fund was formed to help those affected. And when the fund received a large, non-stablecoin crypto deposit from Vitalik Buterin, founder of Ethereum, our partner Wintermute stepped in to help liquidate this donation into USDC, which becomes much more easy to use for relief. And since then, over 82 million in USDC has been processed by the Relief Fund, which has provided food, medical equipment, and vaccines to those affected by the pandemic. Next, for remittances, SDF, which is the development foundation for the Stellar blockchain, which is one of USDC's closest partners, their mission is to create equitable access to the global financial system. And through multiple partnerships that spans multiple geographies, Stellar's on-chain rails make financial services more inclusive and affordable for everyone, especially for the unbanked and the underbanked. And beyond remittances, more and more payments and banking services are also connecting to USDC and utilizing it for global settlement. Visa, just as one example, has piloted using USDC on Ethereum to settle obligations with their partners. So compared to settling through traditional means, USDC settlement is faster, lower cost, and for some of their crypto-native businesses, a lot less complex too. And as we all know, as remote work continues and teams are increasingly global, the benefits that we've seen USDC bring to remittances and settlements also applies to payroll. Companies like Bitwage and Deal and Remwell have started supporting USDC payroll in their HR and payroll services. So payroll through cryptocurrencies is still very early, but analysis from Deal shows that 5% of all payroll volume on their platform is already happening on-chain. USDC accounts for close to 30% of that, trailing only Bitcoin. But as a price-stable asset, we're very, very optimistic that the usage of USDC for payroll will continue to grow. Similar to payroll, we're also starting to see compelling marketplace and creator payout use cases too. Last year, Stripe announced support for USDC payouts over the Polygon network as part of its popular Connect platform. And so Twitter's implementation of this allows content creators on its social media platform to be paid in USDC. With their global user base, many content creators on Twitter don't enjoy the same access to financial services that many of us do. And so USDC Payouts offers them an instant access to their earnings. So in each of these impressive use cases I've just walked through, you see businesses starting to incorporate blockchain tech into their existing technical and financial backends. This is a difficult task, and so next Rebecca will share with you how Circle is complementing USDC and Eurocoin with tools and services that help these digital assets become easier and safer to use.
Thank you so much, Chi. It's been truly enlightening to see how businesses are using the USDC and Eurocoin ecosystem, and to learn which tools and services they require in order to get the full potential out of this ecosystem. At a high level, the Circle platform consists out of 4 pillars. The first pillar is liquidity. So this is where we bridge the traditional world and the on-chain world to our USDC and Eurocoin ecosystem that Gia has just mentioned. And once they are within that ecosystem, they require business services so that they can manage their assets securely. We also offer merchant services, meaning that they're able to accept payments around the globe from their end users, as well as Web3 services, where they can build their decentralized applications on top of our infrastructure. Today, I want to focus on our business services and show you what we've learned from our customers and what has motivated us to build this pillar. Businesses on as well as off-chain are facing a range of challenges. The first challenge is managing your funds securely. Especially as companies grow, it's harder and harder to make sure that every transaction that occurs within your business is actually authorized. Persons of significant control cannot keep charge of everything that is basically happening. This is extremely important, knowing that 90% of all attacks actually come from insiders. Secondly, global payments has become a requirement for most companies. However, global payments are slow and expensive. Depending on which banks are involved and depending to which countries you're sending, a bank transfer can take anywhere from 1 to 5 days. Costs are usually hidden and opaque within the actual currency exchange fees that can range anywhere from 1 to 3% of the actual transaction amount. And lastly, automation has still been a challenge. Being able to automate and integrate all of these services that everyone is providing is difficult, especially if you want to maintain operational efficiency. Think about, for example, open banking that we have here in Europe. It's a standard that regulates how banks communicate with each other and how they communicate with third parties. However, this is a European solution. It is not something that works on a global scale. In order to provide secure asset storage, so the first problem that I just mentioned, Circle has built a flexible custodial solution. The customer can choose if they want to custody their assets with Circle itself or if they want to custody the assets themselves. In both scenarios, we offer enterprise-grade roles and permissions as well as approval workflows, where we also offer an app in order to streamline the approval workflows, so that you can approve transactions and monitor transactions anywhere on the go. If customers choose to custody the assets themselves, we offer a technology called multi-party computation, which is also called or referred to as MPC. What MPC does is that it takes the most sensitive data, which is the private key, and it shards it and gives access to authorized personnel. That means that there is no single point of failure and that only authorized users can actually make a transaction. We also offer tools for customers to have access to Web3 and to be able to access services that are available uniquely on-chain. These are decentralized applications. So think of Uniswap, you've probably heard of them, where you're able to swap, but you're also able to provide liquidity and earn a return on that. Now to our second problem, global payments. Our global settlement network is in a unique position to transfer assets around the globe near instantly. We want to make it so that global payments is as easy as sending an email and is possible anywhere in the world instantly and with a low cost. Our solution consists out of three main items. The first one is the address book. If you've ever made an on-chain payment, you know that the crypto address is worse than an actual IBAN. It's just a series of letters and numbers and it's not identifiable or recognizable. Through our address book, we make that more human readable and more relatable, enabling you to transfer with confidence. We also offer real-time payment notifications, reporting, as well as reconciliation, and enable you to send USDC and Eurocoin around the globe within seconds. In future, we also want to build on-chain services for currency exchange as well as escrow services. None of this truly matters if you're not able to integrate it into your day-to-day operations, right? We're just building another system. So in order to explain to you how the USDC and Eurocoin ecosystem fits into your operations, I would like to take you on a quick metaphor. So I want you to think about your dinner tonight. When you go to dinner tonight, you have the option of choosing a set menu. That means you will get exactly what you want, you know it's going to be great, and you don't need to think about what are the ingredients, how was this prepared, you know you're going to have a great meal. If you want to have a bit more flexibility, you can go down the route of the a la carte choice. That means that you get to choose the meals that you would like to eat. But if you want to have the ultimate flexibility, you can just use your recipe book, choose a recipe, buy the ingredients, and you know that this meal will be exactly to your preferences. This is exactly how we think of our integration models. If you just want to log in and use our payment and wallet workflows and our rules engines, you can just go into our Circle account, log in, and you know everything will fit. But if you want a bit more flexibility, you can use our REST APIs. You can pick and choose the functionality that you need from our platform to integrate into your day-to-day operations. And lastly, the ultimate flexibility occurs when you actually build on top of our infrastructure with the tools that the ecosystem provides. So you're able to build smart contracts, decentralized applications, all on top of the Eurocoin and USDC ecosystem. So now I want to talk to you about how businesses are actually putting this into use. A common customer segment that we see are the capital markets. These are the hedge funds, the family offices that we see that come to Circle because it's where you can get USDC directly from the source, one-to-one, low costs and no spread. But I actually want to highlight three different use cases to you today, which is payroll, as well as VC funding, payroll, VC funding, and then also aid organizations. Okay, let's start with payroll. One of our partners that I really want to highlight is Reservebacked. What Reservebacked does in their core product, Reservebacked Payroll, is that they enable businesses to pay their employees instantly and at low cost. They do this through their continuous payment model. This is important if you think about the fact that 44% of all employed adults in the US see themselves as job seeking or would consider taking another job. So this could be an extremely powerful retention tool. In America, it can take up to days for a bi-weekly paycheck to settle. Okay, so let's go to VC funding. We are really reducing the time to deal close, and international investments have gotten easier. Our partners use our business services in combination with USDC in order to bring money to the builders that need it. Where it can take typically up to a week for a deal to be funded, with USDC, it can take minutes. And previously, it could take 1 to 3 days to complete a wire transfer, and it can take seconds in order to complete a USDC transfer. This means that the road to innovation is streamlined and builders are given the funding that they need in order to push their industry forward faster. And now to a use case that we can all appreciate, which is the ability to deliver global aid at internet speed. Leading global NGOs are pushing this industry forward by providing direct cash, which is life-saving, to people in need through a new blockchain-based approach to aid distribution. The new approach entails registering those in need, getting their details, and being able to provide them with a simple mobile wallet. Once these people are registered, the aid organizations are able to distribute USDC or Eurocoins directly to those in need. The aid recipients, including those who currently do not have access to formal financial services, are able to use this money and even convert it in MoneyGram offices with the partnership that G has outlined earlier. So let's go through it in detail. First of all, an aid organization receives donations, either in fiat or in USDC or Eurocoin or any other asset. What happens is that they convert it into USDC and they're able to use our business services in order to manage and store it. What happens next is that those in need are registered with the aid organization and basic information has to be provided. The aid organization provides these people with mobile wallets so that they can actually receive USDC, for example. Once this is complete, the aid organization is able to disperse the assets needed using our disbursement tool. The recipients are then able to convert it into local currencies using our MoneyGram partnership, or they're able to transact it with merchants and partners who accept USDC itself. With USDC, the way that money moves and it has been transformed. It's made it more accessible, there are more opportunities, and it's more efficient. Customers are increasing economic opportunity and prosperity around the globe, and we are so excited to see what the future holds. Thank you.